So I'm going to demo this wah right here. On the inside, I pulled the entire circuit out of it and just started over from scratch. My idea was trying to get like a 535 style wah. So where I differed is on the 535, it's got a crappier transistor-based input buffer, which really sucks on the bypass signal. Some people say it sucks tone. I just think it just sucks just because it's not really that great of a buffer. If you're going to start at the beginning of your chain, you kind of want to have a better buffer. So I went with a FET-based op-amp style one, so I kept it for the bypass signal because it sounds great on passive style instruments, bass and guitar. I did keep like a 535. I did a tone rotary rather than 5 or 6 values that are all around the same value. I did a little bit wider dynamic range. I did 3 focusing on the treble side and 3 focusing on more of a lower end, all the way down to like a bass type tone. So you can get a wider sweep. Cool if you're doing swells, or if you want to get some classic type tones, like like the Jimmy or McCoy style, and then like like your Cantrell, Dimebag, freaking Slash style, Zach Wild style caps on there, so you can screw with that. On the inside, it's got a Fox Rock style circuit for the output buffer rather than just a basic FET output stage like the 535. I went ahead and did more like that Fox Rock circuit where you can adjust the gain, so you can kind of set the output boost, and it's a little bit better sounding op amp than the run-of-the-mill quad op amp they use on a 535. So all of it's socketed too, so you can switch it out. You can change the FET to a regular style dual package op amp. Same with the transistors. I went with a modern style like a 535 or your regular GCBs and Vox wahs. I did the MPSA 18 higher output transistors. You can switch it to BC 109s or all sorts of other stuff. Again, they're socketed, so if you need to get more vintage sound. Where I differed from a lot of dudes is I actually changed more of the caps than just the 2 input and output buffer caps in the mid sweeper. I went ahead and did the 5 UF cap on the other side of the inductor to ground. I did a giant Gumby looking film cap. I scored a whole bunch of these things on a MOJO parts roundup I did a couple months ago. I've been saving all these caps to start doing amps and other silly stuff for myself, but went ahead and did some wahs with these monsters. It did make a noticeable impact on the tone. It's just got a great sound. I did rob the inductor out of this original wah. It's got a hotter one, so it's really throaty. Instead of like the 500 microhenry, this one's got like around a 900. So again, because you can adjust all the ranges of the sweep and stuff like that, it's not set on that 10 cap, so it doesn't sound like ass. It actually sounds really nice. The thin sounds really cool and tinny, and then when you start fattening it up, it just gets a really cool throaty wah. It works great with fuzz. Again, this has got that output buffer, so it works well with old school fuzzes. It doesn't get all shitty oscillating, weird tone drop like a lot of the regular stock wahs like this guy does. So, but anyways, I got piles of wahs, so I know what I'm doing, messing around with these things. Anyways, I'll show you what she does. Started out on like your classicer style, the 10 NF standard mid sweeping straight up wah type tone. Again, this one's got a little bit of a throatiness to it, even on the thinner setting, where it differs from like a red phasal or yellow phasal or a halo. So bypass signal is nice and sparkly because I did put that FET buffer for the bypass. If you want true bypass, I can easily disengage it or switch the cap values or whatever. So again, custom pedals. So if you want something made, just let me know. I'm pretty easy to work with. I'll switch stuff out, switch it. I'm all about helping people get the stuff they want to use for them. I made this one particular for me to screw around with, so nice and sparkly, but here's some wah. Here it is on neck. When I say throaty, here's like that straight up, everybody knows this sound, the Rage Against the Machine whole. If you'll notice on the back end, you can hear the throatiness of it, so like that. So it's really pronounced. Here it is with some fuzz, just so you can really hear it. So this has a linear pot in it, like a Dunlop style wah, not the iCar, short, tiny. So this one, I like large heel to toe. I like to use swells and do weird things. Again, I'm a bass player, so I don't know what the hell I'm doing on guitar most of the time, but I like the full range of the wah. Some people like to just rock their foot a little bit. If you're that guy, let me know. I can put an iCar style pot in the wahs too. But I like to use the whole range of heel toe. So why this wah is cool, you can fatten it up. Shave a little of the highs off there and get the sweep a little lower. A little less harsh sounding. Third settings, like a lot of those custom Dunlop wahs, like the Slash, Zach Wild, all those, that uses a 22 nanofarad cap. So this third setting's right where that's at. So here it's like that Alice in Chainsy, like that fattier type sound. A lot of those players use wah with distortion, so I think this cap takes a little bit of the harsh highs off, less squealy, more vocal and singing. They also rock a lot of the cock type positions where you just kind of set it, forget it. Do a little lower. Back to the bridge. Straight up wah it again. And then where I differed is I'll take it all the way down to its lowest settings, like straight up bass. Here's bypass. It's like straight up underwater type tone. It's real cool for jazz swells, like. Let a little bit more highs in there. Take it back a setting. Back to the bridge. A little bit more highs. Just to kick it all the way up to the super high setting to show you how dramatic the change is. So kick it back to like that 20 setting where a lot of the other dudes have their custom wahs. So you can get like the reggae type thing going on. Back to this classic style. So if you notice it, it's a little more throaty than your run-of-the-mill crappy Vox and Dunlop straight up $99 wahs. So my goal was to make it MOJO, but have a more of a chameleon, a range of tones. So if you're rocking varieties of styles of music, or you got wicked ADD like me and you can't just pick a tone, it's more your cup of tea. I'll get up to a bass real quick just to show you. She handles the lows really well, especially on the last 3 type tone settings. The bottom setting's more like what you'd get in a bass wah, more underwatery type. So that's a much higher. I'll put it all the way on the lowest setting just to start off. And kick it a little bit highs in there. Turn my amp up a notch, just bass a little bit quieter. And if you'll notice, I'll slap a little bit to show you it doesn't clip like some of the shittier bass wahs do. Let's more highs through to show you. Some fuzz, get some Paris type sound. Kick back to the bass setting. So kind of cool. Make it real thin. And just to pop the back off real quick and show you the guts of the beast. Kill the amp real quick. On the innards of the monster, again, oh, it lights up crazy blue too. I wanted it to be anything that's chrome. You should have LEDs on just to make it sexy. So at night it looks really, really rad if you're rocking the cover band or playing at your local guitar bar, melting people's faces and such. You gotta have the special effects and blue LEDs. That way people know you're rocking custom gear. So on the inside, it's just entirely gutted. Probably turn off the laser beam LEDs. iPhone camera doesn't dig that. So, stock board, you know, one of these crappy, you know, weird Darlington pairs, just because they probably wanted to save money not using the right transistor. So, this is what you get in a regular crappy version of the China wall. So, right up here, you notice the cap rotary. It's got the different caps. So, that's what really changes the tone most dramatically. If you're going to do one mod to your wall, I would always say try and put a cap rotary on it for the sweep cap. You can just Google it. There's like a bajillion pages on DIY how to do that yourself. Drill a hole through the wall enclosures. Harder than doing the mod itself. But anyways, I did a FET style input buffer, so right off the input going into this guy. I kept it for the bypass because it sounds great again on passive instruments. If you're using an active guitar and you're in a butt rock band or something, just let me know. I can bypass that for the bypass signal if you don't want to have a booster or a buffer at the beginning of your effects chain. You'll notice this giant gumby right here. I did that 5 microfarad to ground cap. A lot of people don't do that. They leave the electrolytic. I think a non-polar there sounds badass. This cap is ginormous, so it just looks rad. Here's that big old fat, it's kind of like a stack of dimes style inductor, even though it's in a trash can. These guys are the in and out freaking caps for the wah type circuit. Again, I based it around your early McCoy, so the 2 transistor, no input buffer. I bypassed it into the 535 style. And then the output's the Fox Rock style circuit. I modified it, did a different op amp, more to my taste. This does the mids, kind of like on the 535. You got those 2 little trimmers. This is like your mids that adjusts one side of the inductor. A lot of people call it the mids mod. I think it really just kind of changes where the frequency peaks at. You can get really good smooth transition from the bass to the treble, or you can kind of just get it where it kind of melts across it and sounds nice and jazzy. So if you want it dramatic, I kind of like it dramatic for some stuff. Sometimes I like it freaking smooth. You know how it is with the ladies. But so cool little circuit. This adjusts the gain, so you can make the amp like on the 535 style wah. You can get the hotter output, so you can have it where you turn the wah on and it's a noticeable bump up. With bass, it sounds a little bit better hot. That's why the bass sounded a little bit quieter and it gained my amp up. I would run this a little hotter if you're using this wah, particularly like you're tracking and you're like busting out the bass and making some sort of 9 Inch Nails track or some sort of jazz song to make your friends happy or something. But anyways, a cool little pedal. Everything's handmade. I just kind of hodgepodged it. I tried out a whole bunch of different output buffers and input buffers until I found one I liked. I ended up going with like when I think I saw the schematic for that Fox Rocks, and it was like the 5th one I tried. I tried that out, and it was pretty good as it was, but I adjusted it a little bit to have a little bit better bass content on the way out, because I like to have my pedals not lose low end. I like to kind of keep it unity. But anyways, cap rotaries rad on it. This one's got a linear style pot, so it's a pretty dramatic change. You got to kind of go all the way heel toe to get the big sweep. So cool wah pedal. I'll be doing a whole bunch of these. I got like little piles of these things I plan on modding. Some of them are already done, so stay tuned for more crappy phone demos by me. Again, there'll probably be a link on there. Most of these will be for sale on my reverb.com shop unless I decide to keep one. But anyways, just let me know. You can always send me your wah and I can mod it. I'll try and make it affordable. I don't do a lot of mods, but again, I know it sucks not having the tone where you want it, especially if you already dropped $100 on something and you're like, damn it, this sucks. So I'll try and make it affordable. If you ship me the wah and throw me a couple bucks to ship it back to you, I'll toss some parts in it and make it affordable. Or you can just buy one of these monsters I already put together. So anyways, rock on.